Winner of this, of course, will be sitting pretty in Grand Finals. We talked about this a little bit in the Godly AMGG set, right? I think just like at a very basic level, Axe does pretty well into Chakrams. So it looks, right? You have a lot of good sharking angles. The 45s are quite solid. You can play grounded. It worked out for Godly in the earlier set to keep him in the winner side of this bracket. Let's see if it works out here.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in Axe and specifically Spear as well as two really good weapons. So I'm kind of sad not enough Europeans are playing the Brynn right now, but you know what? Still love to see the Terros. He's going to throw out the side signature. That high strength is really helping him out in this matchup. Over to the hammer, looking for the KO, and just try to find the stomp.
And of course, that moving platform could be very problematic for Godly should he randomly find himself getting caught up there without any dodges or jumps. So be on the lookout. If Fry gets a first hit there and lands on the soft platform, could be trouble, but offstage situation happens first.
Okay, Godly swinging for the side air, gonna throw out the neutral signature, but Fry's staying low.
Ooh, nice weight though from Fry. Okay, doesn't quite get it there on the fourth hit. Keeping this one going. Signature pushes him off stage though, so Godly playing it patient.
Ooh, didn't see the opportunity there, and Fry's gonna dash up, down signature, sends Godly flying. Godly had so much damage. Can he convert this to a KO before Fry does?
I'm kind of surprised he went down, right? Because, like, again, we're talking about bigger picture. Godly is, like, weirdly patient in this bracket today, right? Like, not overextending, not going for super crazy reversal situations. Sending it offside there, I mean, it could be a warning for what could happen later on in the set. Looking for the stomp, which would convert into the Sair. Not going to get too much more after that, though, and Godly looking for one more opening.
Yeah, I really feel like Godly's struggling on this hammer. I almost want to see him just 100% the Axe. And kind of just take a page out of Kindness book and just be like, all right, enough neutralites. Eventually, this is going to KO.
Ooh, okay.
Unarmed.
Enough to do it. I mean, why not use any item in the first place if you could just do it unarmed? But Godly gets the first strike. How long is he going to hang on to this lead is the big question. Fry could answer right back with an unarmed string of his own.
Okay, he's sticking with the hammer, though, as Fry ends up picking up a pair of Chakrams. First tick of damage from Godly onto the second stock. No punish.
Once again. Yeah, I mean, but how does Godly play the low damage here for offstage? I think you just concede it, and it looks like that happened. That didn't disarm. Fry just looking for the unarmed recovery to get the stock. A little impatient, but I mean, at this point, really any move will do it. So even with the sword, we will see recovery coming up soon.
Okay, gonna throw away the sword. Fry might want to just do what Godly did. Unarmed downlight recovery. Still a KO tool.
What? I don't know. If it works, it works. Hey, man. Evened up. I mean, Fry really didn't take too much damage there, as awkward as that situation might have been. Still has the Chakram in hand regardless of that weird situation, too.
I did not realize Godly had that much damage. That unarmed neutral air was going to finish off the stock there. Like, that blew my mind a little bit, but here on second stocks, like you said, Fry didn't take too much damage there. Despite the fact that it just kind of looked awkward, he's been okay at avoiding the damage of Godly.
Yeah, on the other side as well, the offstage dares that FryDasOle's been going for haven't quite been working out. It is forcing Godly into some awkward drifts towards the wall. So I want to see if Fry catches on to that later on. Here comes the ladder. Not going to get too much more, though. Oh, read the dodge correctly, but just didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, unfortunate for Godly there. He actually got away from that down air, went for a neutral air, and it was Fry who ended up beating him out because I think it was a fastball recovery that just was a little bit better. Oh, that
covers both.
It's a big old circle.
And it disarmed Godly as well. That was a pretty brutal position to get put into, especially with the spawn now covers. Fry still getting the weapon star for just a little bit longer.
Back to the hammer again.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious at the end of this game how much of an impact the hammer has had, right? Because I think we really haven't seen much in the way of Stomp converting into anything on this hammer. I think you want to just play anti-air Axe mode if you're Godly here.
Yeah, I am also interested in the stats because I feel like he's had the hammer for a long time but just not gotten a lot of damage. That time he picks up the Axe, got a hit, but immediately Fry able to pick up that recovery for the KO, and he's going to prime a second set of Chakrams.
Yeah, and then this is kind of, I would say, the weaker of the two weapons Godly has had, at least just by the looks of this first game.
Ooh, that stuff to recovery, that was really nice for Godly.
Does make it work. Is going to stall for just a little bit longer, and looks like he's defaulting back to the Axe.
I mean, that's what helped him get that first stock damage built up. Going to keep the Axe, going to deny the weapons. Fry utilizing that soft platform and just stay out of the range of Godly.
Okay, off stage. Yeah, now we're seeing a bit more of this patience from Godly. That was the first real misstep, especially when the sweat beads came through not landing on the soft platform. So Fry more or less equalizes the damage between these two.
Another, just that falling recovery coming out from Fry, and now Godly back onto the hammer. Doesn't really have Fry in that damage position where you can start fishing for a neutral air or a side air to KO.
Yeah, so this is a little bit dicey in these mid-damage ranges. What exactly does Godly do with hammer in hand? He hasn't really had much of an opportunity to weapon throw and maybe swap back to the axe. He might not even get a chance, period, right? We're seeing another recovery potentially from FryDasOle. We'll just close out the stock eventually. There's one.
Doesn't put him off screen. This one could, though.
He waited.
Oh, Godly narrowly got away from Fry there. I think he had just enough drift that Fry was like, okay, I can't hit him with the recovery in this spot.
Yeah, but you see those weights are totally online from FryDasOle, and that's got to be really scary for Godly now approaching, or passing red, actually, in terms of damage.
Okay, he does manage to pick up the weapon spawn. He's got the axe, still needs more damage, but the recovery from Fry is going to do it. Fry going to take game number 1, 705 damage
oh my
put out
goodness.
on the side of Fry. We talked about that neutral air KOing. That's pretty much every attack from Fry had to build up a lot of damage to get those KOs.
Yeah, neutral air, even from the unarmed, as we just saw in that clip, which was crazy. We wanted to talk about the stats a little bit here, and I do think they paint a pretty good picture, right? You're looking at the same thing as me. 55% of that first game, the hammer was equipped, but it dealt a third of the damage of the axe in that first game, which was only equipped for 30% of the game. I don't know. I mean, again, at a very bird's eye view, I think the axe is the key, at least in terms of how Godly's game planning against Chakrams.
Well, he doesn't like it at all, so he is switching it up, going to go over to the Nyx. That is one thing that's really useful for Godly is he does have a really large character pool.
Yeah.
Do also want to call out, he threw out 6 signatures, missed all of them, and production is very proud of the fact that Godly's back. I don't know why they really wanted us to say that.
But we do go to the Blasters. We were talking about it earlier in the day as well. Got a little bit of love recently. Is it enough to compete with the demon that is Priya, excuse me? Hard to say, but...
Well, she is a little bit of a pariah if you, if you ask chat. But yeah, Blasters sidelight, likely looking for sidelight in the side air. That's one of the things that like Blasters kind of acquired recently. But maybe he wants to lean into this scythe and go for some offstage. Didn't go for the reverse nair there. Ooh, went through the weapon toss. Yeah, now he's going to try to starve. Goes off stage with the down air, but Fry just running right past him.
Yeah, it's just been like really interesting tempo swings for me so far. That recovery is not enough to do it. Very, very close to getting first strike, but FryDasOle having to use this weird weapon I've never seen before.
Yeah, crazy. I didn't think she had 2 weapons, but Fry obviously figuring out he's got to use one of them. Ground pound not going to connect. Godly going to fall down, hit that side air. Juggle weapons here. What's he going to stick with? Likely the scythe. I think he's a little bit more comfortable with it.
Yeah, and I was going to say it's almost odd, right? Because we talk about how, like, slow and methodical Godly's taking some of the onstage, and then he'll just rip it off stage to try to go for something crazy. It's these weird tempo swings that's maybe throwing FryDasOle a bit off balance right now, and that's resulting in Godly having a bit of a gentle lead.
Yeah, that's one thing that was kind of bothering me about the way he was playing Teros is he was getting a lot of these axe down airs and then just walking away, resetting neutral. And I think part of that is like he's often looking for the opponent to make one mistake and then he can go in for a big punish just like that. There you see in the weapon toss up, pick up neutral air for extra damage, more neutral airs. Godly really starting to put the blast into FryDasOle.
Yeah, even seeing like 2-3 nairs connecting into each other in some of the earlier blaster sets as well. It's been working out. Again, unarmed is enough to get the KO, but FryDasOle a little bit more hurt this go around.
Okay, picks up the scythe. How's he gonna do the edge guard? Godly usually likes to kind of hover around the corner and go in with that side light, down light, but throws out the neutral sig as Fry went high.
Ooh, okay, offstage. Oh, what a dip down! Crazy from Godly. Again, these reversal situations have just been so on point.
He's holding on. Gonna have to look for the recovery soon.
And once again, yeah, the spacing around specifically Chakram Dare has been really the bread and butter for anyone finding success in this bracket, which, you know, again, all things considered, has only been Godly when we look at the top 4 now.
Yeah, he's the only one who's kind of still holding on against the onslaught of Chakrams. Good patience there from Godly, not diving towards that
where's Bro
signature.
going?
I think it's a bait, but I don't know how good of a bait it is.
Well, took a couple hits on the way out. Godly is significantly healthier on this stock when he took Fry's second, so he does have a bit of range to be able to build up some more damage, perhaps even just make it a 2-stock outright.
I mean, he's definitely getting that damage. Nice. Ooh. The dash jump over, gravity cancel, downlight. Gets that side air as the follow-up as well. He's getting really good damage built up onto FryDasOle. Ooh. A little bit of a misinput there.
And that's just enough to do it. I mean, Godly, like you said, deep pockets, extremely deep roster. Able to do it with the Blasters pick.
Yeah, really clean on that one. Had some really solid Blasters play. Like, most of that was Blasters play. 54% of the time had the Blasters in hand, put out 400 damage, more than he put out on either weapon when he was on the Taros.
So here's the next part now. Does he stick with the same pick? And it looks like he's going to for game number 3. I mean, it worked really well, right? A pretty, like, medium damage 2-stock, especially with the Blasters putting in as much heavy lifting as they have. I don't blame him at all for sticking with it.
Well, we are here on the Miami Dome. I know there was some murmurs in the back that Miami Dome might be like the best map for the Chakrams, or it's like the map that the Chakrams have been doing really well on. We'll see if this ends up helping out FryDasOle or if Godly has an answer on this map.
Yeah, and I think just as partially an explanation for that too, the side platforms being static as well. As soon as the Chakram player can land on one of those side platforms, if they get any burn dodge or anything, it's usually pretty bad for the other player. So we'll see if that comes to fruition here. There's the landing on the side platform, but Godly sneaks out.
Yeah, being able to reset your jumps that high in the air, definitely a really solid tool. You're seeing Fry utilizing those soft platforms again. So far, damage relatively even, double there. Ooh. Got the third one, but can't find the spot for the recovery.
And I mean, the Nair does seem like such a clean answer to the way that all of the Priyas are looking to crash down with down air, right? Like, it just answers vertically. So good stuff from Godly so far, keeping this relatively competitive. There's a whiff punish, but there's no weapon in hand, meaning it's not going to result in the stock yet. Yeah,
I couldn't do too much in that position, so he just went for something to knock him away, get the weapon spawn. Ooh, dash in, down heavy. Godly gonna disco on FryDasOle. Juggles weapons.
That's been like 4 or 5 KOs unarmed in this set already, which is pretty crazy. But hey, if it works, it works. Godly, once again, maintaining this lead, but it looked like it might have been another unarmed KO to answer right back. FryDasOle not able to close the book on it, though, and Godly gets a lot of damage now.
A little bit of a greedy ground pound there, but Fry actually gonna challenge it. Goes in unarmed.
This is really bad for Fry. This is like extremely bad for FryDasOle, but Godly didn't want to pick up the weapon. Gets put in a pretty awkward position. Maybe doesn't want to pick one up and immediately get KO'd, but actually opts for the Blasters instead. Gets the stock with the signature? Are you kidding me? What a swing!
What a call out there from Godly. Just main stage throws it out. Fry might be a little mental boomed as he's already slide charging an emote off the side of the stage, and Godly gonna show him how to get the scythe combos, and that's gonna be a KO. 3 stock for Godly.
I mean, I agree with what was just written on the screen there. That was pure domination from Godly. That second stock in particular, the call out, I think, yeah, like you said, nail in the coffin for that game. And now Godly is just looking so in control of this set.
I do like that this is a little bit more of an aggressive play coming out from Godly. Like, you're not really seeing them do those one taps back away. Instead, it's been a little bit more gas pedaling coming out from Godly. Was able to put out 50 damage per engagement, and there you're seeing his stock lasted all of them, and Fry's last stock did not. That's
it's a
little baby stock.
That's a baby carrot.
It's short, yeah. That's the carrot that like was kind of ugly, so they trimmed it down. And they're like, we'll sell this as a baby carrot.
And you throw it in the bottom of the bag. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Godly set point here to sit pretty in grand finals. I'm interested in seeing if the gas pedal remains pressed down at this point, right? Because I think, once again, that is the playstyle we know and love from Godly. It also suggests to me that he's like, look, I've seen all your tricks at this point in this bracket, Chakram players. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to do my own thing.
I'm going to just do me.
That's right.
And Godly's doing it, well, was doing it well, but suddenly Fry's Chakrams start to find some hits in here. Gets in with the recovery. Nice down air. That's another big tool that Blasters has in this matchup, is being able to kind of challenge against those recoveries and beat them out sometimes.
But he is on scythe. Let's see. Can't quite get the scoop out for the active input to get too much more. Fry lands on side platform, but again, nothing is there. So Fry, strong counter pick for sure for Priya, but it's just not working out so far.
Fry going to the other side of the stage so he can safely disengage his chakrams. Wanted to split those up because it's faster. Good spot dodge there from Godly.
Okay. Godly utilizing those soft platforms to his own advantage, find a safe place to land. Now the question is, how do you get back to ground level and at least just try to get some advantage state? You land down with the dare. Nothing more after that, though. Recovery, no.
That's tough. Godly was trying to go for the weapon swap there, but FryDasOle actually comes in as Godly was throwing the weapons. Fortunately, Godly's still sitting on this stock. Sidelight, nothing!
Waited.
It's going to be the patience from FryDasOle that leads to a KO.
And we need to see a lot more of that from FryDasOle to stay into this set, right? Like, the weights are there, but you just have to be able to find the efficient trigger pull to be able to get those stocks. All that said, though, I mean, like you mentioned, Duke, the answers from specifically Godly's blasters have been really potent in stopping some of this Chakram shenanigans.
But it looks like he wants this Scythe to finish off this stock here. Gets him with the neutral air, not going to quite lead to a KO. Goes real low for that recovery, but still doesn't find the hit.
Ooh. Trying to cross a little bit. Yeah, Godly, liberal use of the heavy button for just a second.
Imagine.
Imagine.
Scythe Nair at the top of the map.
Yeah.
Okay. Sidelight still not going to do it. It's the weapon toss for Godly to knock that one in, tie up these stocks. He had the blasters, but he looks like he doesn't want them at all. You saw that throwaway.
Yeah. Which is surprising, right? Again, like so many of the individual tools feel like they at least have like a 50-50 or can shut down what FryDasOle wants to go for. Let's see it again. Maybe a couple triple Nair strings. Nothing. Tries to go for a side air, but...
Oh. Fry's got jumps here. Godly able to come back down safely. You saw that gravity cancel downlight at the top of the map from Godly. He wanted to turn that one around.
Ooh, okay. Slides off the side platform. Once again, not going to connect with really anything. Godly touches down. Here's the big question, right? Godly needs to find one slip up before he gets swung on by Fry. There it is. Let's see.
Ooh. Okay, Fry just going to hit him with the down air and nothing else. Once again, Fry kind of just playing with Godly's emotions, just getting him open, and then finally finds the KO with that recovery.
Mm-hmm. How does Godly come back from this? It starts with picking up the blasters once again. But, I mean, this is a pretty big deficit to play off of. If FryDasOle finds one opening, we might be going to a game number 5. Okay.
Good hits here with the Nair. Side air, weapon toss. Godly, how do you get this to a KO? Ground pound, not enough yet. And Fry
he touched.
Able to get the wall touch.
I wonder if Godly just didn't want to even try to play that mix-up, right? It looks so ambiguous, knowing that you have so many weapons in the back. Even just a simple ground pound from Godly is enough to do it. We go to last stock here. Godly could make it to grand finals in just 4 games.
We'll see if he can do it here. He's got the Scythe in hand. He was able to even this one up. FryDasOle. He needs to split him, but Godly gets in while he's doing it.
Potential right here for Godly to shut it down just like that. He's almost equalized the damage. Doesn't want to pull the trigger quite yet, but now we're off stage. This is where he could shine.
Down there, not going to hit for him. Godly. How's he going to play this corner guard? Okay. Covers the soft platform with that recovery. Getting a little aggressive here.
Yeah, but FryDasOle's kind of pressing buttons, right? And they're not really connecting to anything. So as long as that keeps happening, Godly's finding these small pockets of time to get whiff punishes.
Ooh, didn't see the drift there. Couldn't get that recovery. FryDasOle goes off stage. Again, the recovery's coming out from Godly.
Ooh, expecting super low angle.
Oh, narrowly touches there. He was sweating as he was coming back.
Ooh, waiting for a jump as well. Is this slipping away from Godly? He does still have a slight lead in terms of damage, but we've seen Chakram do some disgusting things off the top. This might just be another one of them to make it game 5. FryDasOle finds the first hit. There's the dare, not much more after it.
A good dodge down there from Godly. Got away from it. Recovery will connect. Weapon toss will connect.
Hang on. Does he go for it? Yep. GCD light, not going to connect.
Okay, dodges down to avoid. Side sig not going to hit.
Back on blasters once again. Is this just Sair to push off? Yeah, there's the first.
It also disarms him. This is really good for Godly. Fry, though, he's got that comfort weapon. The classic sword just needs a recovery.
Ooh, okay.
Throws him away. Stay fused, my man.
Stay fused! Even, yeah, I mean, the split might not be enough to get the KO with this ceiling here. This is anybody's game. Godly, if he finds a Sair, could push off. There's the recovery, though, to force the game 5. FryDasOle, by the skin of his teeth, finds that victory.
Yeah, Godly just a little off the mark. Went in with that side light, and Fry was above it. Came down air, easy recovery. FryDasOle able to force that game 5 between the two of them. And now I'm curious, what is Godly going to do? Weirdly enough, it feels like he really wants Scythe in this matchup. It's doing okay. He was able to put out 301 damage in that last game, but still, I feel like his blasters are so much better.
Yeah, I think, like, again, on paper, the blasters seem to have a lot of really formidable tools to handling what Chakram at this moment in time is very good at, right? Like playing the up and down really well. It can counter that. Again, I think I'm with you. I think he probably wants to keep Scythe. It looks like we're staying on same legends, excuse me, going into our final game. The biggest thing was, you had pointed out earlier, Godly was like super mega aggressive in game 3, and I feel like that almost went away in game 4.
Definitely slowed down. We really started pumping the brakes there and being a lot more selective. Now we're here. Game number 5. Going to change up the maps. No more Miami Dome. It's going to be the Fortress Alliance.
Okay, and this one decides it all for who gets to hang out in grand finals while our competitors duke it out in the elimination bracket to try to challenge.
This is also a qualifier to get to the Royale. The winner of this guarantees a top 2 finish, which means a Royale spot.
A lot on the line. First stock could matter a lot here as well, so might see some more of that pensive play coming out of Godly to just try to make sure he can secure the first strike, maintain the lead, but once again, anything could happen here.
Once again, they both stack up, and Godly's like not sure how he wants to swing towards Fry. Meanwhile, Fry's just looking for the opportunity to hit that down air. Uh-oh, this could be bad.
Goodness. Yeah, and I think like when the matchup is specifically Chakram Scythe, like that makes a lot more sense now, right? Like Godly doesn't want to swing first unless he has a really, really solid lock-in on where FryDasOle is going to be positioned. Oh no way! Imagine. That would be like the 7th KO this set now with crazy like random conversion off of unarmed.
Didn't quite work out for Godly though. You saw him try to do it. Gravity cancel downlight recovery. Just didn't have enough force behind it.
Yeah, so I think now with blasters, once again, we talk like macro, you can be a little bit more comfortable playing a little fast and loose, right? Like you can try to go into these positions where Chakram players are typically quite comfortable and play challenging and play a little bit more aggro, but we're not seeing it from Godly just yet.
Again, he hits that side air, throws it away, over to the side. Looking for the neutral signature, knows he wants to finish this stock off, but FryDasOle with the stage control. Ooh. Gravity cancel, side sig will cover the weapon spawn, and Godly's going to take the first stock.
What a good choice from Godly there as well, knowing FryDasOle was going to come in, probably just assumed, hey, there's really not much you can do to punish me in that position. Godly makes the most of it.
You know, really intelligent from Godly. Also covered a lot of different things there, so really well done, but we'll see if he can get some extra credit here as FryDasOle, unarmed, could easily get the stock.
Ooh, just wants to run away, though. Represent the Chakrams once more, but what's going to be the cost of that weapon pickup? Godly gets a handful of hits, puts FryDasOle in yellow, and keeps it competitive.
And that right there is the power of Fuse, though, man. That was a fused Nair just on wake up, and it was enough to KO Godly.
Ooh, uh-oh. Resetting on the soft platform. FryDasOle still relatively in advantage. Lands again. This is scary. Yeah, every single time that platform is relatively in the right spot, I get a little bit scared for Godly.
Yeah, you can tell FryDasOle is definitely playing around that soft platform. Okay, good neutral air. Catches FryDasOle dashing off the soft platform. Good movement from Godly. Gets below. Gravity cancel downlight into the recovery. Godly one stock away from guaranteeing himself in the grand finals.
Once again, like crazy choice, right? Like with FryDasOle specifically landing on the soft platform, you expect, like, you can liberally use Nair to just cover what's above you, and to go for something like that, specifically calling out FryDasOle, trying to go underneath. Insane stuff. Godly, one stock away from making it into Grand Finals, but FryDasOle gets the answer right back. Oh! He tried to recovery in the bubble to get the KO back on FryDasOle. That would have been crazy.
He's like, if I fastball just right, neither of us know who's below. I'm just going to throw out the recovery. Didn't quite work out.
I mean, sometimes the hubris of the Chakram can get to you in those situations. But just like that, it is a last stock game 5 to decide who makes it to Grands.
FryDasOle with the comfort weapon. Godly with the blasters. Might not be what he wants right now, but it's what he's got. Side lights thrown out. You can see Fry really trying to give space to Godly.
Ooh, with punish once again. Okay, chase dodge to the left. There's nothing there for Godly, but he can at least maintain a little bit of stage control. Double Nair. Make it 3. And again, you can just kind of juggle the Priya for a little while, because as long as you're playing from underneath and sharking like that, it's a lot of opportunity for the Blaster Nairs to just tack on a little bit more damage.
Oh man, Fry's getting more hits though. The jump side air, not quite enough.
Okay, sights online. So I mean, this is a dodge read. This could be a whole slew, a whole entourage of things for Godly to close this one out. You got to wonder if maybe he wants to switch to blasters to try to find the finisher, though.
Man, these down airs from Fry really threatening that corner. Godly, he wants this finisher. You see the weapon spawn. We'll see if he goes for the swap. This is opportunity as he charges up the side.
What?
Toss. Fry can't get the touch. It's going to be Godly going to our grand finals.
Wow. Okay, I saw in the corner of my eye FryDasOle sweat beat at the very last second, and I was like, why is Godly just ignoring the weapon that is right in front of him? It's so crazy, but what a victory here. Godly, the only non-Priya player in our